How we doing, everybody?
Hey,
Decided to jump on a little early here so we could greet everybody since there was so much going on in the chat. Thanks, Nick, for joining me. It's so great to have you. Thanks for putting this blind together.
yeah, it's been a long time in the making. So
For sure. For those of you who don't know, hey, Nick, have you ever seen Shawshank Redemption?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nick, if you don't know Nick is kind of like my Red. So anytime I need to find something, I ask Nick, and he can find it. He can find anything. So that's how I look at Nick. He's my red.
The finder.
Yeah, the finder. Yeah. So he's just been a great pillar in the whiskey community, not just in mine, but several other whiskey communities, and he's just an all around good dude. So very glad to have you on here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited for everybody's thoughts, and I have a no stress sample flight. I don't have to think about what I'm drinking. I just get to enjoy it, and so that's exciting. I get to see everybody's reactions, so that's looking
definitely.
Forward to that.
Yeah, and it gives everyone else a chance to actually win because you can't win. I think you've won. I think every one of these you've been a part of, right? Is that
no? I can't even remember, honestly. I've won
at least half. At least half.
Yeah, at least half. A lot of times it's lucky because sometimes I'll do a blind and I'll just like be completely out to lunch. It just depends on if I'm on it or not.
Well, cheers, everybody. Thanks for joining in. A lot of you here, some very familiar names, all of the usual crowd. So good to see you all. What's everyone warming up with? Or if you're not doing this blind we're about to do, what are you sipping on? I got the Jim Beam Winter Reserve poured. If you haven't tasted this, it's pretty darn good. And it was 86 proof. And I'm a proof hound, but this is a really good whiskey.
Yeah, I poured up the Wild Turkey 101 12 year, the Japanese release, and that's my favorite warm-up pour. I feel like it gives you a little bit of spice, it gives you a little bit of sweet, and it gives you a good proof point to start from.
Yeah, that's true. And it's funny. I seriously wonder. I've talked to you about this before when it comes to samples going bad, because I remember just not enjoying the first sample of Wild Turkey 12 that I tried. And since trying it, I think it's incredible. That first sample.
Yeah. I think it's definitely true that a sample can go bad. It all has to do with the lid. If the lid is just cracked ever so slightly, I'm sure it's possible for it to go bad. But I've had a lot of samples that I've had for a long time, and the vast majority of them are fine after a long period of time. But I've also had samples that are just awful. But you can almost tell right away. Oh man, who's my biggest fan? How's it going, Mike?
Yeah, it's definitely possible too that I wonder about those the plastic caps is my concern. Even if when it's shipping, it's sitting on its side for a while, and maybe it's just sitting on that plastic too long, and there's just no guarantee it's food grade. That's my concern.
Yeah, I guess it's true. There's no guarantee that it's food grade, but at the end of the day, it's a sample.
Yep.
You can't take everything you have with it. Take every sample you get with a grain of salt, because you try it another time and you might love it. Me, I've had several samples of Balcones rye, and I still hate it. So.
Yeah. So I just picked up 2 Corbin Cash. I got a bourbon pick and a rye pick, and the bourbon's 150 proof, and it doesn't drink anywhere close to that.
Looks like that's what Michael's got. Is the 150 proofer. So it's a good thing you've been at it for a few hours. Well, it depends on how much you've had for the few hours.
I guess the bottle also cost 150, so that's where my brain went. I didn't even. Yeah.
A few hours of 150 proof, and you're sitting a little happy.
It to me, what it drinks like, and this might be offensive to some people, but it drinks like what I want cowboy bourbon to be, but better. Like, it's better than cowboy to me.
Oh man. See, I had a sample of Cowboy 2023, and I absolutely loved it.
I do really like Cowboy. This isn't me talking crap.
No, I know. But I have a Cowboy 2024. Oh, no. Maybe it was 2022. It was 2 years ago. Two releases removed before they went hazmat. And that 2022, I think, kind of from my recollection, blows the 2024 out of the water. But again, it's a sample, so take that with a grain of salt.
So Andrew, like this logo, this logo or the your drinking buddy logo?
Maybe he's talking about the Moolooite logo, or
this one. I don't know.
Yeah, which one are you talking about, Andrew? The one with a cow on it, or not?
Contrarian made me. Oh, okay, so, Contrarian made advocate. It's so easy to be better than cowboy. Ooh.
Yeah, I can agree. I can agree that it's easy to be better than cowboy at a much lower price point too.
Yeah, that is my concern with it. Is it comes down to it's a bottle I'll probably never buy due to the price.
Yeah. So Andrew, my wife makes the stickers for me. So I've got stickers for like Christmas time. I've got everybody that got this flight got a Christmas theme because it was supposed to be in December, but we had to push it back so many times. But everybody got a Christmas Moo sticker. I think I have one here. There's the Christmas Moo sticker. I don't know if it'll focus or not, but anyways, Christmas Moo sticker. But yeah, my wife makes the stickers and designs them for me. So she's pretty cool.
Definitely. Well, does everybody have their whiskey poured out? Does everybody?
Hopefully you've let them air out a little bit. You've been sitting in their little sample bottles for a long time. So
yeah, and have water on the side. Always good to have a little water on the side. About a pencil and paper. You got a pencil or pen and paper? Because we got to do a little. I
don't have to do anything.
You don't.
I don't have to think about it. I just get to enjoy.
I'm going to play along at home because I'm hyper competitive, but I won't include myself in whatever giveaway we do. I definitely want to give a flight to the winner. And you said you did too.
Yeah, I'll give a flight to the winner, or maybe I'll do second place. You do first place. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that'd be fun. That way, at least 2 people get it.
Yeah.
So we were going to do 1 point for type, 1 point for proof, 1 point for finish, and 1 point for distillery, just like always. We were going to do 3 bonus points if you can get a bottle guess. And then we were going to do 5 points for each imposter, and there are 2 imposters. So, basically, the 3 of these whiskeys have something in common. 2 of them don't. We need to find both imposters, and that's where the bulk of the points are going. 30 points total. I'm going to go ahead and dive into glass 1.
Yeah.
And just to clarify one more time, it's 1 point for type, 1 point for proof, 1 point for finish, 1 point for distillery, 5 points for each imposter, and then a bonus 3 points if you can get a bottle guess. If anyone wants to pick that up, I'll highlight it.
Yeah. I guess I don't know how much I should talk. I don't want to give anybody major hints because I know what I'm drinking. So
that is the challenge. I
have to be careful what I'm talking about.
The nose, to me, on this one is very it's very bourbon, like caramels, vanillas, cinnamon, little barrel char. Nothing like.
I was a little worried because the first thing that jumped out was a little bit of grain, but that kind of dissipated pretty quickly.
Yeah, mine's been sitting in the glass for a while, and I don't get any grain.
Okay. Melon on the nose, medicinal.
Yeah, it's definitely got a medicinal thing on the palate. It's older. It's got some nice barrel influence here. Yeah, I won't say too much because I don't want to give away my guesses either. But notes. I think I'll say. I won't say like.
Oh, was really nice on this.
Definitely.
Pretty impressed.
I won't say things like I think this is Heaven Hill. I won't say things like that. But I will throw out my notes.
Green apple on the nose. Let's see. I can see the green apple. It does have a little bit of a fruit thing, I don't. For me, this isn't super fruit forward.
But, yeah, I agree with that.
But it's definitely on the back end. I like the black tea and leather call. The leather, especially to me, is pretty prevalent.
Yeah, there's almost something. There's almost a little nutty something here too. It's not quite, Heaven Hill nuts, but like a slight, like maybe it's not even peanuts. Maybe it's more like walnuts.
Musty old warehouse.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
It's pretty complex. Yeah. There's a lot going on, and the palate's got
Hazelnut.
Really nice,
that's it. Like Nutella.
Hazelnut. Yeah.
So Andrew P wants to know where he can buy the stickers.
Let's see. If you're on Discord, you can add me on Discord, and my name Moolooite is my Discord handle. Or you can comment on on. I might go back and I can send you a message afterwards. Yeah. So again, just to reiterate, it's a point for proof, plus or minus 5, right? Plus or minus 5 points.
Plus or minus 5.
So you get a 10-point range. So you're pretty cozy there. Type. So that's like, is it a bourbon? Is it a rye? Is it a single malts, et cetera, et cetera. 1 point for distillery. That's like Heaven Hill, MGP, so on and so forth. And then a point for, if it's finished or not. And it's not exact type of finish. It's yes or no. So it's a 50-50 question. So you get a coin flip for that point.
That's where I get most of my points from.
Yeah. Yeah, no worries, Andrew.
Message me on Instagram, and maybe we can work something.
Yeah, that's a good option too.
Man, I got nothing for distillery for one. I'm not even.
I mean, I know the distillery.
Send me a text message. Just kidding. Oh man, I kept every time I've gone to it, I haven't noticed anything fruity, and this last sip,
it's really there.
Fruity. I just got some like strawberry, cherry type things.
I like the strawberry kind of call, but Patrick mentioned green apple, or somebody else mentioned green apple too. Let's see. And I like the green apple call. Todd mentioned melon, and I can kind of see that like a honeydew almost nose. But that's really reaching for me. But those are the best kind of notes, or notes that you have to really pull out of your hat.
I went ahead and wrote down a bottle guess. I don't think I got it, but
there you go. Thanks, Colin.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I'll leave this up here for a minute. That way everyone can kind of see it. And those of you who aren't doing the flight, I appreciate you for joining to watch us do this. It should be fun to watch because at least one of us always makes a fool out of ourselves. Usually me.
I don't have to worry about making a fool out of myself, so I'm sitting pretty. Caramel covered green apple. I do like the green apple call.
Yeah, and okay.
I like it. It's subtle, but I can dig it.
Interesting. I really don't think this is Buffalo Trace. I'm going to go ahead and throw that out there. I could be wrong, but I really don't think this is.
I want apples and caramel dip.
Yeah, that would be a great in between.
Yeah. A nice.
Man, the more I'm sipping on the more I really like this pour.
It's really good. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that sometimes if it's the first pour for me in a flight, I'll kind of like I'll play it cool, and I'll try not to like something too much off the bat. Then it throws me off. But
it's smart because often the first pour seems to win in blinds for people because the.
Yeah, I like that call, Andrew. It's a good opening pour. If you're opening for a time or getting ready to pour a few things that night, it's a good warm up pour.
Oh, I went ahead and nosed B. I don't know if anyone's ready. I'm not.
B.
Is everyone ready? We can look at B.
Oh, it smells so good.
It's cola. It's like cherry cola on the nose.
Man.
Okay, so YDB Wifey says, what are your top recommendations for someone new to whiskey? I would say Michter's is somebody just mentioned Michter's. Michter's is a really good one to start with because they have like lower proof offerings that are really good. I would say
I say find a friend who's into whiskey and hit them up for some samples.
good call. And I would say don't be pressured to jump into high proof too quickly. That like I remember the first like 6 months I was drinking whiskey fairly regularly with a few friends. Almost every time we got something over 115 proof, I would be like, "Oh, I don't like this. I don't like this." It took me a while to get used to that, and once I did, I'd never look back. But
yeah, it is hard to get used to that. But I'd say something like Wild Turkey Rare Breed is a good first step into the higher proof range.
the one for me that did it for me was Booker's.
Yeah, Booker's.
But Booker's is expensive, and Wild Turkey Rare Breed is about half the price. So
what really kind of got me hooked was Eagle Rare. I know it's hard to come by, but I think it was a combination of it tasted good and it was fun to try to find it. I like the aspect of trying to find something.
Russell's 10 is one that got me hooked a little bit too. Because I was easier to find than Eagle Rare, and then when I got Eagle Rare, I'm like, wait, hold on, I can buy this Russell's 10 all the time. It's better.
Pretty much, just as good. Clint mentioned maple syrup and caramel, and I like that.
Okay, yeah, I completely agree with that too.
It's very fruity.
I think we may have lost everyone that isn't actively doing this flight.
That's okay.
He said he mentions that he did years of Scotch first. I actually had years of, if I sipped a spirit neat, it was probably Scotch. Not something I went out of my way to, but a few times a year I would have like neat Scotch or on the rocks Scotch or on the rocks. Makers was one that I had for years before I even got into whiskey. I viewed Makers as being this like special bourbon. And then you get into it and you realize it's a pretty good bourbon. It's nothing extra special though.
Makers has that price point that's just high enough that when you're getting into whiskey, it's like, oh, that's got to be good. It's like $10 more than all the other shelf bottles. That's got to be the one. And I think they rely pretty heavily on that aspect.
Oh. What?
Are you on C or is this B?
No, this is still B. This is weird and good and awesome and strange, and this is tasting Southern to me. Southern. So something like a Detling or a Crittenden's or maybe a Mellick or like maybe even some Texas on B. I'm not willing to commit to calling this a bourbon. I don't know what this is.
Yeah, Knob Creek 12 is a good one.
Yeah.
B gives me date vibes. Nuttiness.
Caramely for sure. Beam and nuttiness on B. Wow, interesting. I don't get that at all. I got to go back in and look for that. This one is drinking really crafty to me.
Yeah. I don't really get the big crafty notes, but yeah.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Who helped me?
You want to win those fights?
The order.
Tribe Hogue. Knob Creek 12. Okay, maybe I'm out of my mind because this is drinking just so crafty to me. You guys are making me change my guesses because I'm hyper competitive like that.
You gotta hedge your bets.
I had put down American because I'm not convinced it's bourbon, and I had put finished, but now I switched it. So
there's a note that I typically get off of this bottle, and I'm not getting it tonight. So that's interesting. And it might be just the order in that I'm getting it. I'm not getting it as strong as I normally do, I guess.
It's drinking older too. Like he's right. Like the drying like tannic on the tongue.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna jump on you guys and say beam though. I am gonna say that. I'm not getting a beam thing here personally. So
I really think there's a really nice combination of maple and fruit, but I can't place what kind of fruit it is. I have that melon call in my head, and it's kind of that melony fruit, and that might just be because that was the first fruit that I read today or tonight.
fair. Like we were talking about nuttiness of Jim Beam right before
Yeah,
I pushed
exactly.
live,
Yeah.
and then the first thing I tasted, I got peanuts on.
Mm-hmm. All plays into your mind.
Heaven Hill vibes now. I could see that.
I'm excited.
Patrick, you make a good point because older Beam does taste fairly different than younger Beam.
Yeah, it doesn't have that peanut note, or it doesn't have it as prevalent as usual. So you might be onto something.
Yeah, I've definitely tasted a lot more bourbons and ryes than scotches at this point. But
5,000 Scotch taste. That's
a lot. I don't think I have 5,000 bourbon and rye tastings. Maybe. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Maybe 4,000 total of everything. I don't know. I'm really not
honestly
sure.
I'm happy that I don't like Scotch that much
because it's expensive.
One less thing I have to buy. And I feel like the step from low tier bourbon up to mid tier bourbon is a huge jump. I think you get a big jump from that. And with Scotch, I feel like you have to spend a lot more money to get up to that really good, where things start getting really good.
Yeah, and there's not an enormous.
That's just from what I've tasted and what I've seen others taste.
I would say there's not an enormous jump from mid-tier bourbon to high-tier allocated.
Yeah, I guess that's the other thing that I was getting at is that expensive bourbon is not that much better than mid-tier bourbon.
Yeah.
Whereas I think expensive Scotch is way better than cheap Scotch.
Yeah. Irish too. Expensive Irish is like, oh my gosh, what is this? It's so much better than your standard Irish.
Nashville on B. Could be.
All right, so it looks
I'm moving on to C as well, so I'm gonna jump into C now.
All right, going in the nose on C. Sorry, my first few of these, I went way too fast, so I'm trying intentionally.
No, I think we're moving at a good pace.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. This is finished vibes on the nose for me on C. Where we're getting I feel like it's another barrel influence that's not just your standard charred oak barrel for me. I might even say like French oak on the nose because it's kind of spicy but still bourbony.
Yeah.
Cherry cheesecake. Now that is a wild note. I love it.
No, I like the cherry cheesecake note. That's interesting.
Oh, now Patrick over here,
Mizunara,
might be hitting something because I do feel like this is finished. Maybe I'm just, poisoning the well by mentioning it being finished at all. But this one's giving me finished vibes. Frosted cherry Pop-Tart. You guys are nailing it with fun notes. It does smell a little grain forward. I would agree with that. But the palate isn't grainy.
All right, here's my note. Roasted coffee beans. Roasted espresso beans.
I could absolutely see
on the palate.
I could absolutely see that. How do you properly nose a whiskey to get the full experience? I tend to smell with my mouth open. And then also do the go in with my mouth closed and then open my mouth. And I feel like that makes a difference. So I don't know if that's crazy, but that's what I do.
It's not. I don't do the mouth open thing. I've tried to do it, and I get different notes for mouth open versus mouth closed. But Mizunara finishes is interesting. But one thing that I almost always get off of Mizunara finish is like the meat stick,
Meat.
nitrate kind of flavor profile. Man, malty is a good call, especially on the nose. I think that's that grain. The graininess is that malt.
Yeah, man.
Mochaccino. I like the chocolate note. I like the chocolate call. So for me, nosing, I think what doesn't get talked about a whole lot is the angle of the glass. It's kind of commonplace to put it in that angle, but if you smell your glass like with your glass just straight up and down, it smells different. And I think you get more ethanol if you nose like the top of the glass. This sounds kind of ridiculous, but you nose the top of the glass, you don't get as much ethanol in your nose.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of ways to avoid getting hit with ethanol revolve around letting the whiskey rest in the glass for a bit before you go in, and then also the swirling. I know there are some people out there who think the swirling is bad, but what I'm doing is I'm dissipating the alcohol in the glass, and so when I go in, I'm just smelling the whiskey. I'm not getting all of that ethanol that was sitting on top. It's just my theory.
I think you're also getting you're just adding the surface area for things to evaporate, so you're getting more of those all the notes that you're smelling are more prevalent that way.
No on the Peralta. No. The Peralta has chocolate malt in the malt, and I'm like a shark to chocolate malt. If there's a drop of blood in the water, a shark can smell it. If there's a drop of chocolate malt in the malt in the mash bill, I can find it. I don't think it's adventurous stills personally, but
yeah, Arthays mentioned the Richard Patterson video, the nose. He does a great video on how to properly nose. Yeah, top of the glass. I think the top of the glass is a big deal, especially for somebody that you're trying to explain it to somebody that has never really smelled whiskey before. If they get hit with ethanol, that's all they're going to remember from the experience. So,
do you need out? Do you need out there, Cisco? My dog's in here with me, and I think he wants out. Pardon my escape for a moment.
Bell pepper, anytime there's chocolate malt, interesting. I think there's a lot of grains that can give off that kind of green pepper note, that green pepper note. Yeah, YDB wifey only smells ethanol. That's how my wife. Actually, my wife has gotten to the point where I can hand her the glass, she can smell it, and then I'll tell her the note that I'm seeing, and then she'll like, oh yeah, that's it. But she doesn't taste it.
Yeah, I don't have any. I feel so bad about my guesses on C. I might just have to move on and just call it a loss because I don't know. I literally don't know.
This was meant to be a little bit of a mind trip.
I like it. Yeah, maybe I might. Yeah, I don't know. I do kind of like the people who said it's not a bourbon. I think I might agree with that statement. Hating bell peppers is so weird to me. I love bell peppers. One of my favorite pizza toppings.
Pizza bell pepper. I guess I've had bell pepper on pizza. What I really like on pizza is peppadew peppers. Have you ever had the peppadew peppers? Like little red cherry peppers. Those are like perfect pizza topping for me.
Or like any of those like vinegary peppers are good too. Like pepperoncinis on a pizza are good.
Wow, that's really cool, Arthays, that you got to have some pours with Richard Patterson.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree, Chris. Time smelling things, I think you really start to pick out notes. And what I like to do is if I'm having something for the first time and I know what it is and I'm not like blinding it, I'll look up what other people have smelled and I'll see if I can recreate that. And sometimes you can get that in your head. But what I've tried to do is I've tried to get it in my head that I need to find it. I don't need to let it find me. I need to be the one to find it. That sounds ridiculous, but that's
no, that totally rang true to me. Like that's kind of how I look at it too.
Yeah, because if I just let somebody convince me that this is the note, then I'll,
I don't like to ever read the bottle or look at tasting notes before.
I don't even look at the bottle because I feel like distillery tasting notes are almost never accurate to reality. Sometimes they are, but there's a lot of canned things.
Yeah, and I agree there too. I do love stuffed bell peppers as well. All right, let's see. So
I'm gonna off the bandwagon, and I don't like cheese.
I'm gonna go in. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're a crazy person on that one. I can't. Yeah. What do you do with pizza?
I like pizza. I like mild cheeses.
Okay.
And I think it was Jason that has his cheese hater theory that everybody that doesn't like cheese still likes pizza.
I like this theory.
And I think it's probably true. See, but I can't just have like a slice of cheese pizza. It's got to have something on it.
See, I'll go ahead and throw it out there and might get hate. I love cheese pizza. It's not something I order often because I do like toppings as well, but I love cheese pizza. Just
Chris,
cheese
the
pizza.
Cheese hate. Okay. I wish I liked pizza. I wish I liked cheese. My life would be so much easier if I liked cheese, because cheese always looks amazing and I want to love it. And I've tried so many times to like it. You as a kid, you don't like certain things. Like you don't like every kid doesn't like onions, or every kid doesn't like tomatoes, and you kind of grow out of that. I never grew out of the cheese hate, and I wish I did.
But you do love Parmesan too, right?
I do love Parmesan, but Parmesan is basically salt.
Well, and Parmigiano Reggiano is goated. It's like the best cheese in the world.
Parmesan is my favorite cheese, but like I can't just have a block of cheddar and eat a slice of cheese. I like pepper jack if it's melted and it's got like extra things on it.
Man, I'm telling you, I highlighted Mark's comment here because I'm definitely Brown Foreman vibes on the nose for me.
Yeah.
And the cheese hate. And I got to highlight my wife's comment here because I'm a big avid pineapple on pizza believer.
I know, Andrew. I wish I liked cheese because then people would believe me for who I really am. But
the Italians get really upset about pineapple on pizza. Meanwhile, in Italy, peas and horse meat are common pizza toppings. So I'll go ahead and take my pineapple. Thanks.
No, I like pineapple. There's a place in town here that does a pineapple pizza with peppadew peppers on it. That thing's awesome. Spicy Hawaiian.
Your taste has now been called into
my taste is judged. I know. So like, I don't know. Have you tried that the Frey Ranch 100% wheat whiskey yet? Have you had that?
Yeah, I was not a big fan personally.
The cask strength. Have you had the cask strength though?
I don't know which one I had. Okay. I had a Frey Ranch wheat whiskey that I just didn't jive with very much. It was very funky and weird.
Mark says, I gotta love cheese. I'm just standing in solidarity with my fellow cows. I don't think we should be slaves to the...
That's what makes it even weirder. You should love cheese. Cigar leaf. Okay. Yeah. Patrick over here. My palate's wrecked
My
today.
palate's broken.
I can't do this. I'm going to be terrible at this. And he's over here, just nailing every tasting note.
Anise and dill. I get the anise. I don't get the dill.
I can see both. And this is
no age guesses.
I completely agree with Robert here. I think that if you want to know if a pizza is done right at a pizza place, cheese is the way to go. Cheese or pepperoni. If you want to know if they did the right thing, like if it's a good pizza. I also kind of feel this way about like a burger place. If I want to see if a burger place is done it right, I'll just do grilled onions and cheese just to see if they, nailed it. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Mingo, I had the Brown Foreman on the nose, but I don't think Brown Foreman on the palate. It's something crafty. I got to write down some guesses here. Man, but is it crafty? You know what? I'm going to go ahead and go a little outrageous here. I'm going to go a little crazy.
I love the brown sugar note on D. That's what's really upfront to me, is that really strong brown sugar. It's like sweet brown sugar, dark brown sugar.
Yeah, it definitely has a really nice sweetness. To me, it's almost like burnt sugar, so almost in that like creme brulee territory.
Mm-hmm. Colin's paying attention.
Patrick may have just written down almost exactly that. Right before I saw your comment, I swear. I didn't. There's no plagiarism here. We're vibing on that one.
Sure. I do like gnocchi. But I like. I don't know. I don't really. So my problem is, I'm hit or miss on Italian food because of the amount of cheese they use. Yeah. And that's another.
But it's usually
another X. Another black strike on me.
So I'm going to go ahead and throw out a controversial Italian food take, and I'm probably going to get blasted. So hopefully I can share in some of the hate and help you out here. I totally love the Olive Garden. Hear me out. It's like one of the only places where I can get really good, soup and salad and breadsticks unlimited for a really cheap price. And I don't really ever order their pasta. I just get the soup, salad, and breadsticks, and it's cheap.
I make a homemade zuppa toscana. I make a homemade zuppa toscana all the time. The copycat. Yeah. That's my favorite soup, I think.
I would agree.
Chris is out of here, dude.
Yeah. See,
I don't know. I'm sure that I would be able to discern good gnocchi from bad gnocchi, though. I like gnocchi, but I don't know that I'm refined enough in the Italian space to figure that out or not.
I just 100% agree with this comment here. I don't care. Their pasta's okay. Their pasta's nothing special, but the rest is good. I like their soups. The salad is very classic, and I love those breadsticks. Give me like.
You also have a family, and you can't eat out at nice Italian restaurants every night. Like my go-to. I don't have all that many options where I live, but Chili's is our go-to because my son and I can eat there for $12 or something.
Yeah, man, I do miss the 50% off.
There's the real reason. My wife used to work at. Did she work at Olive Garden?
Back in the day, and we used to get 50% off. So.
Man, there's the real reason.
Yeah.
Oh, Michael, what's your family's Italian restaurant? I need to know that because I think Michael's in the Valley.
That too.
Michael's in the Valley.
I believe so, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. There's nothing wrong with liking crappy American chain restaurants, but Olive Garden. I just got a really cool maple note off of D.
You know, Patrick, I figured you might be the one person to agree with me on this because we have pretty similar taste when it comes to food. Yeah, see, I don't really like
I love the triple dipper, but I realize that the triple dipper, like you look at the everything's got the calorie count now. You look at the calorie range for the triple dipper, and it's like 1,600 to 28,000, like 2,800, or even over 3,000. I'm like, well, I can't do that in one sitting, and I always end up eating it all if I order it, so I just don't order it.
I mean, any entree is a personal entree if you, try hard enough and you believe in yourself. Just like any pizza is a personal pizza.
Oh, it's in Pittsburgh. Oh, that's a bummer. You got to tell them to move out to the valley.
Yes. We can all drive up to the valley or down depending on where you're. Chili's slaps. You know, I'm gonna disagree on this one. I'm
not a big fan of Chili's. Chili's has this new, like, it's not super new now, I guess, but they have this Santa Fe hot sauce that they put on their wings, and I like. That's my jam right now.
The last time I went there, I got a shrimp dish, and the shrimp were totally raw, and I had to send it back. And I lost my appetite after eating like 3 raw shrimp, so I didn't even order it.
So you did that to yourself then? You ate them.
I did.
You knew they were raw, and you ate them anyway.
Well, after the first, I figured maybe one was raw.
I know. Should we move on to E?
Yeah, let's move on to E. I got it up to my nose right now. I was about to say it.
Oh.
Fitting this whole pizza in my mouth. Exactly.
I do. Chili's has some great queso dip, and I don't like cheese, but I'm a fan of that queso.
Well, there's very little cheese in queso dip.
Doesn't really taste. It's like glow in the dark nacho cheese that you get at the ballpark. I love that because it doesn't taste like cheese.
There's not much cheese there.
There's not much cheese in it.
What about macaroni and cheese?
I like the white. I like a very small margin of macaroni and cheese, and it has to be usually has to be white, like white cheddar or something. I don't know. I'm vegan for cheese, yeah, but I like ice cream, so I can't really. I'm just a fake cow.
Yeah, closer to plastic.
Yeah, exactly. I like the glow-in-the-dark cheese. It's like I talked about the other day in the Discord about the glow-in-the-dark Fritos dip, the jalapeno cheddar Frito cheese.
It's pretty good.
Like one of my favorite snacks.
Even if you're making like a homemade cheese. Even if you're making like a homemade cheese for like a cheese sauce for like mac and cheese, by the time you're done, it's like 20% cheese. Yeah. Like you got milk in there, you got the roux in there, you got the butter, the flour, everything. Anyway, it's
Hoog is right. All the tasting notes have left the blind. Now we're only talking.
It's about only cheese now.
It's only cheese. Toasted marshmallow. I like that call, Andrew. It's funny though because Hoog is actually pronounced Hoag, and I think you pronounced it Hoag, Josh. I was impressed by that because you didn't even know.
I think I had a spoiler because I think you said it before I did.
Oh, okay. Maybe I did. Yeah, canned cheese. That's my jam. I got a question for you. When you drink, do you swish? Do you do like a swish in your mouth? I almost always swish.
Like I like to roll it around my tongue. I don't know if I do a swish, but I like to roll it from front to back of my tongue.
Yeah.
Try to hit all of the different tasting spots.
All the different parts of your tongue, all your taste buds.
Thank you.
I really like this. I think this is a really good the Kentucky Chew, but I feel like I do it kind of an intense like swish. Finish on E.
White grapes and peppercorns. Okay. This one is tough.
See, I'm sitting here sipping. I'm not really thinking about what I'm sipping because I'm not trying to decipher what it is.
Yeah, I'm also like
I don't have a ton
I got to like the third or fourth pour and I was enjoying the conversation a lot.
The cheese conversation.
Yeah, or just in general, Danielle's got my wifey's got another question here. If you could share a dram with any historical figure, who would it be and why? That's a deep question.
Probably Teddy Roosevelt. I feel like that would be cool.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun. I think I'd go George Washington. I just feel like he'd be fun.
Then you'd be only sipping. You'd only be sipping scotch though.
Because bourbon wasn't invented yet.
Well, they had just found. I guess. When did we land in the Americas? When did they discover corn? When did the Europeans discover corn?
I mean, well, they landed in America.
Not the Europeans discovering corn, but when did the Native Americans show the Europeans corn?
1500s.
1500. Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe they had already figured out bourbon. I don't know. Winston Churchill. I like that. Oh, the David Otto.
Winston Churchill's a good one, but he just drink us all under the table. If you ever are bored one day, watch the Whiskey Tribe video where they drink like Winston Churchill did for a day. The exact regiment that he did, they try to do, and they're like absolutely annihilated trash by like noon. And he was running the free world, you know? So it's...
Yeah, like for some reason when I think historical figures, my mind immediately goes to presidents.
Yeah, same.
But like Andrew pulled out a philosopher. Like that's the last place my mind went. This one is like the exact middle between Buffalo Trace and Wild Turkey, but I think this blind was designed and sent out before the Buff Turkey madness. Yeah, there's no Bufferkey in here. I'm not that bougie. Those are like $300 bottles. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
1493. Corn was right back. Okay. So my theory that there was no corn is out to lunch. There's a really, after I've sipped on this, there's a really nice cherry note that's come out on E. I'm talking about E.
I do like that answer there because it's all over the place. That's like two historical figures and Bob Marley. Bob Marley would be fun because I could tell him, hey, get that toe checked out, bro. Come on. I'm hoping somebody got that. Ooh, Hunter S. Thompson. Yeah, I couldn't keep up with him. He was a little too crazy for me, but.
Washington made rye. That's cool. Derek dropping the historical facts right now.
Yeah, well, and then I know that the Schenk made rye whiskey for George Washington, and he liked it so much cool. He would ask for that Schenk whiskey because it fortified his troops, is what he said. Yeah.
I really like E. I'm gonna have a hard time picking a.
I'm struggling to pick a favorite too. I don't have a distillery guess for E. I'm struggling there.
Yeah, Robert Hemingway would be fun. I feel like.
And he likes a good tiki drink, and I do. Okay, you know, if I'm not going to drink bourbon, a tiki drink is pretty nice.
I like tiki drinks, but they're just such a pain in the neck to make at home.
Yeah, and you need so many ingredients you're going to use once. So that's something I'm more likely to order out. No, that's just facts. Irish were the first to make whiskey. And if you don't spell it with an E, you're spelling it wrong. Frank Sinatra. We could have Jack Daniels all night. He's my kind of guy.
I just got a nice maple note on E on the finish as well. Maple.
Yeah, like maple brown sugar oatmeal vibes. Big bowl of Quaker.
Okay, I'm gonna just run back pretty quickly through A. I'm gonna go backwards. I'm gonna go back to D first, and then just run backwards.
I said I was hyper competitive, and then now I'm at the point where I'm just like, I don't know what any of that is.
Going back to D smells pretty fantastic. CDEAB.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm not sure I have an order yet. I'm going to go back through one more time. I'm surprised locked in. I'm not locked in.
He wants those samples.
Man, you are right. That is so mapley.
I love the nose on D. It's not my favorite palette. I wish that the palette carried through from the nose. That's my only beef with it. Yeah, you can post them in Discord if you want, Chris. I don't know. Have we talked about the membership, or I don't know if anybody's not a member here, but have you talked about how to get into the Discord, the YDB Discord?
Yeah, it pops up on the screen randomly, but I think I've been highlighting so many comments. I don't know if anyone's seen it, but anyway, yeah. So you can join for a couple bucks a month, and you get access to stuff like this. I do a monthly giveaway, and then get your name at the end of every long format video. It's a pretty great community we've built over there, and I gotta give some shout outs here. Robert, you're here drinking. You were the first one to click that button and believe in me and become a channel member. And I really appreciate that. And then, a lot of you guys have been around for a while. Some of you guys are new, and I just love all you. You guys all rock. It's such a great community. Sharing samples, sharing blinds, sharing, locations of where to buy cool stuff. And there's been so many packages sent from member to member in this community, and I just appreciate you all for that.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Let's see. So I'm having such a hard time coming up with an order.
I'm really leaning D and E, Patrick. So I'm kind of right there with you, but I haven't gone through a second time yet. So I just don't know.
I love B.
I'm really hung up on a distillery for E.
I really like B. I'm a huge fan. And I also like E.
Yep.
And C is such a wild. Yeah, A is pretty wild coming back to it. I feel like A got worse for me.
I haven't gone back yet.
As I went back to it. But now I'm smelling it again, and it smells amazing. I don't know. Maybe I'm out to lunch. See, Colin likes A first. And A is really, the nose on A is really nice.
Blown away by A. Okay. I got to get there. C is the one that I'm not loving the second time through.
I like how wildly different C is. Drink some water, though.
I'm just trying to figure out how I possibly guessed unfinished bourbon on B. I'm going back. You guys are wrong. It's not Beam. It's nothing normal. That is that is a finished American whiskey. I just lost 2 points, guys. I'm sure of it. But I got to go with my gut. So you got C first.
See, Jargogo likes C, and I like C. Everybody else kind of is a C hater. And I really like B. And a lot of people put B in near last. I do like B.
But yeah, I think C is my least favorite. I do like it, but I think it's my bottom.
I really enjoy E quite a bit.
E is really, really slapping for me.
E. A. No. E.
Yeah, there's no real close consensus on order, which is fun.
Yeah, no, it's kind of all over the place, and that's what I wanted. I wanted it to be like a real toss-up. I don't think any of these are bad by any means. See, the problem is the nose. It smells like stinky feet. Let's see if you ruined it for me.
I don't get that.
I don't get stinky feet on C. I don't get the stinky.
It's a bit savory. Maybe that's what
you
you
like. The chocolate. I love the chocolate note on C. I agree that there's a little bit of a savory kind of thing to it. Going back to B, B is a little bit one note. See, I base a lot of my ranking on nose. Almost every single time, and I think you all almost always do it on palate. If I
Yeah,
remember
I tend to lean palate.
I gravitate towards nose because I like nose because I can smell something basically forever.
That's true.
Brian.
Man, Mingo too. So C is
C was your favorite. That's awesome. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go.
C
E.
is the one you said smells like stinky feet. I heard that wrong.
I don't get stinky feet on C. My order is E, D, B, C, A. I like A the least, but I'm not sure why. I like A, but I don't know why it's in last. I think it's just it just ended up that way.
You and I were so close. I'm E, D, B, A, C.
A, C, okay.
C's my least favorite. I do like it. I personally think it's a malt whiskey. I don't think it's a. I think it's an American single malt.
I feel like if you gave these in different order, maybe you would get different different rankings. I feel like order plays a lot into
Order matters.
how you like something. A, B, C, D, E. See, Derek doesn't like E that much. Oh, he just joined 4 minutes ago.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, dude, Derek, that's awesome. I'm a big fan of JT Melick. I recently got a pick from Texas from Specs, and it is so good.
E, the maple note on E is just hitting for me right now. I love that maple note.
That's my favorite note in the entire flight. Wow, this was fun. This has been fun, man. I mean, we're not done yet, but I'm just saying.
I'm having a hard time with D. I feel like I want to bump D down, but I'm gonna stick with it.
I really like D. I still have no clue what I'm going to write down for distillery for E.
Yeah, everybody's gonna have to start locking in their answers pretty soon because I'm gonna have to start revealing it in a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I feel like.
Anyways, I hope everybody enjoyed the pours. I don't think there's a bad pour personally.
No, I completely agree. My least favorite is C, and I really do think I would buy a bottle of it.
Yeah. I like C because it's so dramatically different from a normal pour to me.
And it's a cool imposter. I mean, this is definitely, let's throw it out there. This is definitely one of the imposters. C's got to be one of the imposters. But it's a cool imposter pour because it treads the line of being many different things. I feel like I could guess American for this. I could guess single malt for this. I could guess bourbon for this. And I don't know if I'd be right.
Interesting that you think this is an imposter.
It's already locked in. I ain't changing my mind now.
There's no changing. Yeah, if everybody that put their guesses on Discord, did you put your imposter guess?
Yeah, don't forget to put your imposter guess.
Don't forget your imposter guess. Those are 3 points a pop. So if you get both of them, you get an extra 6 points. And that'll matter. Yeah, E is just hitting for me right now.
You know what? I've changed so many things. But now I don't think C is a malt. I don't. I think it's a bourbon.
Interesting. C and E are easily my favorites. Yeah, Mingo. I like C and E as well. Yeah. Imposter C and D. Okay.
I went with C and D.
I'm so happy that like the answers are all over the board. There's no like general consensus.
Yeah, this is fun.
That's what I wanted, was that there was not going to be like a standout for any one person, because I think these are all individual palate. That's what would mark these in order. It's not like a price thing. It's not a age thing. It's not whatever. This is I think everybody had wildly different. You and I were relatively close, but I could change my order, like almost upend it, and I would still be happy with the order. You
The
know,
only thing I think I'm sure of is I think I like C the least. I think that I'm sure of that, and it's still a good whiskey. I like the other four more. The other four are just
E
really.
is my favorite.
Oh, so you switched. You went. Oh no, yeah, you were E2.
Yeah.
Okay, so A, I just got an interesting Sharpie marker thing on the palette.
I can
I
see
wonder if
that
that was
on
the
the
turn
palette.
for some of the people. That tells me port finished, which I didn't label this one as finished.
What did you say? I didn't, it cut out.
I feel like A could be port finished because of the it's got like a Sharpie marker note that I sometimes get off port finished.
I don't get the Sharpie note, but you know, C is the imposter. Remember, Mark, there are two imposters, not just one.
Yes, Mark, two imposters.
D is too dark to not be finished and/or an imposter.
Hey, Aaron, I don't think you've looked at Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye in a glass recently.
It is pretty dark. So are we feeling like we're ready for some reveals, or what do we think? What are we thinking?
I think I'm ready. Is everyone locked in?
Is everyone feeling locked in? I know some people are.
I still don't have a distillery guess for E, but we're going MGP.
Yeah, when in doubt, MGP. That's my motto. When in doubt, MGP. So I guess I'll just go A through E on the reveals. Like I said, I don't have the bottles. I threw them away because we did this so long ago.
Locked in.
Locked in. Is everybody ready? I think we're all ready. All right. A is, let's see. How do I want to reveal this? I'll say first off, A is finished. It is a bourbon. Okay. It is what I don't know. Oh, it's 104 proof. It's 104 proof. And the distillery is 2XO. This is 2XO Innkeeper's Blend.
So it would be MGP.
I don't know where honestly, I don't know where 2XO sources from. It could be Kentucky.
It could be Barton then.
It could be Barton. Yeah. I don't know if anybody else knows. I didn't even think about that when I was picking these. I'm not sure. I don't even know if anybody knows exactly where, because it's a blend. It could be like several distilleries.
Usually we'll say, yeah, you're right. It might be like a barrel situation where it's like MGP, Dickel, Barton.
So I don't have a great way to show pictures, but if you look up 2XO Innkeeper's Blend, that's what A is. So it's
I had 105 proof, and I had a Blue Note juke joint for my guess. I was banking on MGP.
Blue Note juke joint is like 120 proof though. You're just hedging some bets.
I still went lower proof. I guessed 105.
Hedging some bets. 1 point, 2 points.
Yeah. But that's the closest thing I can
honestly,
come up with.
I don't know what the distillery is. I don't know. I didn't think about that when I was putting that together. Maybe I'll do some Googling and see. Maybe someone else can Google. Yeah, I don't think it's MGP. Honestly, it doesn't taste like MGP to me. It tastes more like a Kentucky bourbon. But that's just me. So 2XO Innkeeper's Blend, that's glass A. Glass B is, let's see, 1 point. How close? It's plus or minus 5. So it's 104. So if you guessed 109 to 99, you'd get a point. So 99 to 104. Or 99 to 109, you'd get a point. So glass B is Very Old Saint Nick, Faith and Conviction Rye.
It is a rye.
So this is unfinished.
Terrible on this one. What's the proof?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's 109.2 proof. And I don't know what the distillery is. I'd have to do some Googling. So I'm sorry about the distillery.
Their transparency is terrible. You will not find
horrible. So I don't think I'll ever be able to find it.
Yep. I got 0 points on that one.
Sorry in advance on that guy. But I mentioned that this was missing a note that I usually get. Usually this is like a maple bomb to me. If it's the only thing I'm pouring, it's like a maple bomb. It's like drinking maple syrup.
It's a plus or minus 5, Ryan.
Lots of zeros on the Faith and Conviction rye. Very old St. Nick Faith and Conviction rye. Because to me,
I never at one point wrote down rye.
No. Yeah. So this is almost the least rye I've ever had, I think. It's the least. And that's why I wanted to put it in this blind, because it's like, it doesn't taste like a rye at all.
Hey, Bingo, we're tied.
Preservation Distillery in Bardstown, Kentucky distills very old St. Nick bourbon and rye.
That is
it's a shocking rye.
That's the name of their parent company, but they don't actually distill anything. Everything's sourced.
Okay, it is all sourced. That's what I thought. It's all sourced, and they're really
do a lot of barrels from. They do a lot of old Stitzelweller stuff, and they'll be like, "Hey, Stitzelweller," and then they'll throw probably 1% of that into the blend. You know, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So this very old St. Nick, it's like the least rye I think I've ever tasted. If you really search for it, you can find those kind of mint notes, a little bit herbal, but I actually really like this pour. The unfortunate MSRP is prohibitive. I would not buy this bottle for MSRP, because I think MSRP on this is like $220, something ridiculous like this. I got an excellent deal on this bottle, and that's why it's in this blind. Still and get rye on the retaste. Yeah, no, 100%. It's pretty wild.
So that's an imposter then?
That is okay. I'll talk about imposters at the end, if that's all right.
Okay, perfect.
So yeah, none of them are imposters. No, I don't know. That's the imposter. No, so are we ready to go on to C? I think
yeah.
So C is 103 proof. It is unfinished. It is a bourbon, and it is distilled by Glens Creek. And this is Glens Creek Cafe au Lait, which is a Kentucky distillery, and it's named Cafe au Lait because of that coffee note, that chocolate coffee note. The big thing for me is that chocolate and coffee note.
Okay, but I think Glen Creek is MGP.
Nope, it's all their own distillate. 100%.
Are you sure? Okay,
100%.
all right. I double black.
It is hyper malty. It's very unique. I haven't had anything else like it really. But yeah, 100%. They make it in house.
I had kept saying that I thought it was a malt, and then I changed it to bourbon. So I got
so you got a point.
I got bourbon and proof.
You picked up a point.
Yeah.
The goose egg.
I didn't actually write a bottle guess for this one.
See, I think this one's a little sneaky, but I like it. I like how wild it is. The other thing,
I really enjoyed this pour.
The other thing that Glens Creek makes is really good.
OCD number 5, really good.
OCD number 5 is excellent. This is OCD is the same mash bill as OCD number 5, I think. Maybe not. I shouldn't mention that. I don't know. But the Cafe au Lait, the big thing is that chocolate and coffee note.
Hey, don't feel bad, Patrick. I got 0 on the second one. So
Michael says, I want it to be MGP.
Please give me some MGP. The only time I want to be drinking MGP is in a blind, because I'll get it right.
And then D. So D, we're ready to move on to D. D is Jack Daniel's twice-barreled rye. So it is 100 proof. It's finished. It's Jack Daniel's and it's a rye.
Well, I got Jack Daniel's and I got rye. My guess was Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye.
Yeah, no, it's 100 proof.
I wrote 132.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, this is
again?
the special release from last year, the one I didn't like,
This is the one that you didn't like.
and I like it now.
This is essentially your bottle. I use most of your bottle to make this.
That's awesome.
Let's see. Somebody was Colin was asking what was B. It's very old Saint Nick Faith and Conviction rye. I'll post a picture of the lineup in Discord.
What was the proof on that one?
I'm sorry, what's that?
What was the proof on the very old Saint Nick?
109.2.
That's right. I was so close. I had 115.
Oh. What was the proof on D? The proof is 100 on D.
I definitely should knock D down knowing that it's 100 proof because I had it written down as the highest.
132. And then finally, to finish off our journey, holding strong at 2 points, Mingo.
Nice.
To finish off our flight, sample E is 108.8 proof. It is finished. It's a double oak. It is a bourbon, and it is made by Peerless. This is Peerless double oak bourbon.
Wow. My guess for that was Widow Jane Decadence because there was so much
maple note. Yeah.
Maple. And I thought it was Widow Jane Decadence, and I still wrote no for finish because I'm an idiot.
Just hedging your bets. I had 100.
Hedging my bets in the wrong direction.
That was a pretty solid proof guess, Arthays.
Yeah, I had one. What was the proof on the last one?
108.8.
Oh, I did not get proof. Just kidding.
So just to kind of circle back, there are 2 imposters. So the imposters are unfinished. So there's one unfinished rye and there's one unfinished bourbon. So the imposters are B and C. The imposter B is very old St. Nick because it's an unfinished rye. Imposter C is the Glens Creek Cafe au lait because shockingly it's unfinished. Yeah.
Yeah, this just shows you how wild things can be because, like, I completely agree with this sentiment right here. I have never really liked that JD rye. I thought it was super disappointing for what it was, how hyped it was. In a year where they released the Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof Rye, they released Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof Rye picks. Just for me, it just got so outshadowed by those. And yeah, it's a good whiskey. It's a good whiskey. I concede.
My problem with it is that sometimes on the finish I get like a plastic note on Jack Daniel's twice.
Peerless is Peerless, Mark.
Peerless is made by Peerless.
Oh, what were the 2 imposters? I was zoning out apparently.
So the 2 imposters were unfinished. There's one unfinished rye and there's one unfinished bourbon. So B and C are the.
Okay, so I did get C.
So everything else is twice barreled, either double oaked or double oaked or twice barreled. Pretty much all of them were double oaked. So 2XO, Jack Daniel's, and Peerless were all double oaked. Cafe au lait is unfinished bourbon. Very old St. Nick is unfinished rye.
So I got 12 out of 30. That's an A, right?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad.
I usually get banana with Jack Daniel's. Yeah, I got the banana on the nose, but I didn't say anything.
Yeah, Robert, I definitely wrote down finished for C too. 16, good job. So I guess the main thing we got to figure out right now is who had the highest point score and who had the second highest point score.
I think I saw Arthays. He had 18 points. If I'm correct.
17 for Arthays.
Oh, 17.
Then, okay.
Patrick with the 12. He thought he was going to flunk. He thought he was going to flunk out. So.
Hey, you and I
tied both with zero logic. That's the best way to get imposters.
Well, let's see. 16 for Andy Barr.
Yeah, Jesus mentioned the Cafe au lait hand filtered. I have a Cafe au lait hand filtered, and it is significantly better than this one.
So is anyone higher than 17 and
16, right? Andrew
16?
got 16.
Yeah, Andy Barr and Arthays.
Ryan with the 8. I've had flights like that.
Oh, I know I have. Dang, Colin had 4 points just on E.
Wow. Did anybody guess a bottle?
Tell me if you beat
hoping
that,
not.
because
I don't think any of these were
anybody gets
easy
a
bottle
bottle?
guesses. I don't think any of these were easy bottle guesses.
No. I mean, I was so close on D, but
And then you guessed 132 proof.
I Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye. Yes.
Yeah. Mark's
That's the only one I haven't finished. So maybe I do hate it. I don't know.
Maybe you do hate it. So, anyways, I hope everybody enjoyed. I hope you felt that it was worth
For sure.
worth the value. And
yeah, so I'm very glad to have had everybody here. Thank you, Nick. I mean, man, it's so great to have you. This was so fun. I definitely think our two winners were Arthays and Andy Barr. You guys are both local, right? You're both Tucson, I believe, right? Am I crazy?
Mingo barely missed out on the Glens Creek guess.
You wrote down Glens. You didn't write down Glens Creek. Shut up, Mingo.
Yeah. Hogue says, if you like Cafe au lait, I believe you can get it shipped to your door. Check the website. And it's hilarious
because you're in Tucson.
Website has all over the places as we do not ship. We do not ship. Don't buy our bottles. We don't ship on every single screen.
Is that Glens Creek does that?
That's Glens Creek does that. Yeah.
Really?
They don't ship, but you can order their bottles and you can pick them up. Like they'll hold them indefinitely. But yeah, Ryan, it's fun even to bomb because these don't matter.
100%.
Well, you know what? I can't post the picture in Discord yet.
If you want to get a blind together for Arthays, since you're going to have to ship it anyway, probably. And meanwhile, I can just hand a blind to Andy Barr.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you want to do that, now, I got something pretty cool in mind. I'm gonna hit him with something weird. Yeah, he's gonna get weird from me. So,
yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys. Thank you, everyone. This has been amazing. Especially you, Nick. We couldn't have done this with you, obviously, without you, obviously. But yeah, great time had by all. I appreciate all of you. Thanks for coming out, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Josh. Everybody, thanks for buying into this, and hope you guys all enjoyed.
I definitely feel like everybody did.
Yeah. It wasn't a bad whiskey, so can't complain.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, C being my least favorite, and it was still good.
Yeah.
So, cheers all.